Welcome back to another Epidose of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. Today we got the Emster back. Emily's with us. Ray's here. Justin's here. Joe's off cycling across Sydney at the moment, so he couldn't be here. But today we're talking about coaching. So Emily's kicked off quite a program. Ray's been involved with Bella over at Steak and Butter Gal, and Justin's been coaching up a storm on his own. So, anyways, let's just run through and tell us what you guys are up to. So we start with M. What's your thing called?
Yeah, I started an 8-week system called Inner Clarity System. Basically I take people step by step. I hold their hand as they transition into this way of eating, mainly low carb, but it could be keto, could be carnivore. And I talk to them about what to expect. And I really support them through 8 weeks. Over the whole 8 weeks, we have one live Q&A a week, and that's where they can ask me any questions that they want to live. Then I record those to send it out to the people in the group. And also in the 8 weeks, I offer 4 one-on-ones, and that's more of an intensive where it's an hour and a half Zoom session with just me and them. And we really go into kind of the mindset of why they're in this position in the first place, why they're struggling so much with their eating and not putting their health as a priority. And then
we got a nice video where Emily really explains this in detail. We just recorded, so that'll be available if you really have more questions about what she does. But I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so then, I have a Facebook group that's just the members of the Inner Clarity System. So that's what I've been doing. And it's been working really awesome. I love it. And that's it.
Awesome. So the Inner Clarity System. So Ray, tell us what you've been up to, you rascal.
So lately, what I've been doing is I've been doing a group coaching with Bella in Bella's group, and talking about feasting and fasting, and that's been my biggest passion. But also I help her run her meetings during the weekdays.
And so, Bella being Steak and Butter Gal, right?
That's right, Steak and Butter Gal. I'm glad you said that.
She has her own website. Plus, you can find her on Instagram, Facebook. Where else?
Well, Tom, we're so much better at plugging other people's stuff than we are our own Instagrams and shilling our own things. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the Meat Mosaic channel. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to Emily's channel. Raymond also has a channel. Go subscribe over there.
That's right.
Subscribe to mine. Thank you. Gang.
Yes.
And all of our Instagrams as well.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah. So awesome. Justin, why don't you tell people why they might want to coach, why they might need a specialist like Ray or Emily or yourself? Because isn't carnivore just about eating meat?
Yeah, no one ever needs a coach ever. Of course not. Yeah. So, I mean, it's so individualized. So, one of the most difficult parts about the carnivore lifestyle, because I see it as more than a diet, honestly. It's the health-based lifestyle, right? The meat health-based. Oh no, there's a tagline in there somewhere. Nod with me, Tom. Well, nod with me. And so people, knowing how to incorporate living healthy, the carnivore diet in the day-to-day, because that's where the rubber meets the road, right? When they got to be at work at 4, as we know, some carnivores, and you got to pick up the kids at 6, right? So how do you navigate all that, not just for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, for a week, 3 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, 8 months, etc., as we've all done successfully, more or less. And that takes a lot, because the commitment to being healthy. So in like family systems, right, that we're taught in school or in psychology program, changing one part of a system changes the entire system, and everything around it has to adapt.
Right.
And that happens internally and externally. So not you changing your diet also requires you to change your thought process, maybe confront some emotions, maybe confront some people, right, in your life. Because, you know, if you want to know,
butcher. No, just kidding.
Confront your butcher, definitely. Hey, remember that time I almost got in a fight with the butcher? That was cool. Anyway, and so if you want to know like who you can trust, who's toxic in your life, who's really rooting for you, change your diet, right? Especially a diet like this, and they'll come out of the roadwork. There you go. And you know, there'll be some allies and there'll definitely be some enemies, you know, and that's enough for some people to give up. Not to mention the enemies coming out of the road work in their own head. And yes, I'm going to do it on purpose now, just to bug people. The road work in their own head, to
kind of makes more sense when you say road work in your head. It kind of makes, I get it.
Right, because it's been like cemented in all these like introjections and all these like horrible thoughts, and they're automatic negative thoughts. You know, they can't do this. What are they trying to do this? This is crazy. Oh, just because they got healing from it doesn't mean that you'll get healing from it. Aren't we all different? And so there's all these things to navigate in when taking on this challenge. Now, there's some of us, which I think counts for all of us on the screen, that we're so grounded into the dirt that it's just like, well, even if this kills me, it's got to be better than the way I'm living.
Yeah.
Right.
For us to take this on. It's like, I don't care if I lose all my friends. I don't care if I lose my nuts. I am taking this on because it's a gamble, but I've done everything else and I want to be better. And people are saying that if I do this, I'll get better. And meat is fairly affordable compared to all the different vitamins and elixirs and organic kale at $3 a slice or whatever, and avocado toast, right? And so it's relatively cheap form of healing comparatively, not to mention what you avoid. So you avoid diabetes. Now, we can't clinically and make any health claims, you know, blah, blah, blah. We're not doctors, no PhDs present. You know, wear your mask, take your shot, all that stuff, of course. And the but what we do know is there might be some data suggesting associative epidemiology, that, hey, maybe we're avoiding diabetes and all its complications. We're avoiding Alzheimer's, possibly avoiding heart attack, stroke, you know, all these different things. So when you take that cost, right, and then the cost of medications, doctor's visits, missing work, etc., only eating meat is extremely cheap and extremely affordable. And so it takes a person that's done this for a while to paint that whole picture for you. So in my coach, and I'm dying, of course, while I'm talking. In my coaching, of course, perfect picture of health right here, obviously. In my coaching, I do two things that seem to keep coming up, and that is, hey, look into the future at the problems you're avoiding or that you may not have to deal with. You know, someone was talking about their father that had a heart attack at age 43. You know what I mean? Their father was 43. They weren't 43, you know? And so that, like, when you're a child and you see your father have a heart condition that young, like that's like burned in your head, right? And so it kind of informs the rest of your choices. And the and the other thing is look how far they've come, right? Because sometimes I do work with people that have been carnivore for a couple of years, and it's like, yeah, not everything in their body is operating 100% perfect, but look how much more functional you are compared to where you started. And so it takes someone that's been on this journey to put those views together, right? So they get a broad spectrum view of how it's helping, how it may continue to help. And hey, that's not a reason, or it might be a reason, but we're going to do our best to try to argue them out of the reason to stop this or to mess with what ain't broken.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I
you
like
gotta take a
it.
sip.
Good point, though.
Yep. So, anyways, I thought that it would be important for us to talk about this because, you know, we all kind of have our niches, you know. So, don't you have a cough button on that fancy control board of yours? I know you got a bunch of sound effects you never use.
I love the
So-
helium one.
I like the crows. So, anyways, yeah, Justin talks a lot, and sometimes his mouth gets dry. We love your enthusiasm.
It might.
Are you-
Okay. What?
Are you wearing pajamas?
No, I'm not wearing. I'm actually wearing the nicest shirt I own.
I couldn't figure out if it was like a bowling shirt or
Could be a
Is it-
bowling shirt.
is it like a Nat Nash that somebody ironed on some like Hello Kitty
No,
stuff?
it
onto?
came. It's not. Oh my goodness, Tom, we have to have a talk. This is not Hello Kitty.
Well, I never know because
Not
I'm
that
like,
I wouldn't wear a Hello Kitty. Like, hey, one of our audience, if you want to send me a Hello Kitty like bowling shirt, I will wear it on screen. I will
Wow.
put it in a video. Just throwing that out there. I'll wear a
There you
Hello
go.
Kitty dress.
Oh,
Put that out there. Doing
all
that.
right.
No, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. The shirt is amazing.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cute.
See,
What?
it was summer.
That is
Nightmare, because it's Spooktober. It's our first October episode. So every episode we have to bring our Halloween things, you know. Didn't we discuss
Awesome.
this? Didn't you get the memo?
Mm-mm. No, I'm trying to get in the Halloween mood, but it's still hot as hell here. It's like 96, felt like 99 today. It was like,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah. So I was just wondering because you never know what people are wearing in these videos. I mean, half the time Ray doesn't even have pants on. So I don't know.
Wow. What can I say? I don't.
You think you'd leave your shirt off because it's your abs you're famous for, but it's usually the pants for some reason. I don't know.
Well, you know, I gotta seem proper, you know.
Anyways, yeah, and if I don't do a lot of coaching, I do a little here and there, but most of the people I deal with are autistic or have a family member or somebody to take care of. So I'm a pretty busy guy, so I don't spend a lot of time coaching, but I do for the people who need what I got. So that's kind of my niche. So somehow people find me. I don't know how.
I love it though, and
Right.
I'm so grateful, you know, for you in that space, because there's so many people who just need to know and just to have hope, you
Mhm.
know, that you know, because I think so many times, especially with autism, people think, oh, well, there you go, nothing you can do about it.
Right. Yeah. No, but as we find out, most of the symptoms and most of the diseases and disorders out there can be alleviated to some degree, right? Yeah. And then, of course, I get questions all the time like, well, does it cure autism? And then, of course,
Right.
it's not something you really cure, right? So,
It
It's
just
not a ton-
manages the symptoms.
yeah. And it tends to, you know, of course, a lot of autistic people really have a lot of digestive disorders for some reason, you know, so we don't know exactly why, but anyways, yeah, there's
Well, I mean, that
go ahead.
brings up one of my favorite points is, are we cured or are we just in remission?
Right.
You know, and it's always that thing. And I think I found an answer. And if I could just take a minute without coughing, hopefully. You can cough. I just can't cough. There you go.
Don't think about coughing.
Never mind. Not going to go there. Anyway, there was a ball joke there and I decided to leave it. Anyway, and the yeah,
still
and so and the thing is that like, okay, let's say you kept eating golf balls and you kept getting really sick from eating golf balls, and then someone went to you one day and was like, hey, golf balls aren't good to eat, how about you stop eating these golf balls? Then you stopped eating them and you got like way better, right? So would that be remission or would that be cure? And so it's kind of like, well, It's just you're feeding your body properly, right? So I have ball pythons and they have to eat rats. Like they pretty much can't eat anything else but rats because that's what they've evolved to eat, was hunting rats. And so they'll get sick, you know, if I put some lettuce in there, if I try to feed them bugs, they're not going to really like that. It's not going to, and it's because they get all their nutrients and all their everything they need is from eating a rat, a entire whole rat. And so it's funny because when we think of other animals, we know that there's animals that can't eat other things and they get really sick. But then when we stop feeding a dog chocolate and their digestion gets better, we don't say that dog's in remission. You know what I mean? From eating chocolate. We say, oh, they were sick because they were eating the wrong thing. And so I really try to bring this argument out into the community that it's like, we have to get rid of this notion when it comes to diet and the carnivore diet or keto diet of this remission versus are you sicker? Because some people are like, well, now you can't eat it at all because you'll get sick. And it's like, no, it was always making you sick. It's not making you sick now.
Right. Yeah. Not everybody has really strong reactions to stuff because like if I had a piece of chocolate or something, I wouldn't have a reaction, you know? And, you know, I ate my girlfriend had some leftover tacos and I ate the meat out of them and they had like onions and cilantro, which cilantro is always like rolling the dice because I'm pretty sure that's where most people get food poisoning, but it didn't bother me at all. So yeah, it's not like I hear that all the time. Like, oh, you stopped eating it. Now you can't tolerate it at all. And that's generally not the case. I mean, some people are just really sensitive to certain things. And then of course, we hear the stories all the time, like, oh, I went to my kid's birthday party and I ate cake and beer and pizza and, you know, a fistful of almonds and I felt like crap. And, you know, and that happens. People fall off the wagon. But yeah, when you start taking all the crap out of your diet that doesn't make us well in the long term, it's not really a cure. It's just getting back to what the real normal is. And it's the opposite of normalizing ill health, which is what's really happened, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly. So I work with primarily elderly people that are like, oh, it's just age. I've got these digestive issues now. You know, I'm 72 and this is just how it goes. You know, everyone sees like after 30, it's just downhill. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be that way.
No, everybody here is older than 30 at least, right?
42.
Justin. How old are you now, Ray?
49.
49.
Man, I'm a year behind you. Wait, you're 50, right? Yeah, you're 50.
I'm 50. Yeah, soon to be 51.
Right. Yeah.
And baby Justina over there, he's like 32.
32.
You are 32. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So
he's an adult now.
I can drive. I drive the car. I work the job.
So yeah. But anyway, so if you guys need a little help, you know, somebody needs a little help, don't be afraid to reach out. Find a coach that suits
help
you.
I need somebody, help, not just anybody. I told you I was gonna do a Beatles song every episode.
There you go.
All righty then. Thank you for remembering that, Justin. And thank you for not telling the ball joke. Okay. Well, on that note, let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. It's good to get most of the gang back together. Too bad Joe couldn't be here. Hashtag the forgotten one. So, but next time we'll get him.
Yeah.
But anyways, until next time, everybody out there, eat some meat and feel better on whatever you do.
Don't fall down the carb hole.